Hey, decision makers. Want to stay in the loop with exclusive content and the opportunity to be on the show? Text DECIDE to 218-432-9722 now, and let's get connected today.
Work ethic, hard work, it pays off, but it has to pay off. You got to make sure you apply that hard work when it's game time. Execution is key. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. When you get comfortable, sometimes you get complacent. There's no room for growth if you're complacent. So I feel like if you're always uncomfortable and you learn how to be comfortable being uncomfortable, then you'll grow.
Welcome to the Just the Decision podcast, where we speak to our guests about the decisions they made in life, the good, the bad, the regrets, the decisions they're currently making, and the decisions they're going to make for the future. Subscribe, like, comment on the video, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. And remember, we're available on all streaming platforms. Today, I have the honor of introducing my good brother, Eugene Campbell III.
Thank you for having me, my brother.
What's going on? How's everything?
Everything is good. Can't complain.
Cool. I feel like sometimes it's 2 or 3 of y'all in the world because your social media, you in this country, then you back in Jersey, then you over here. I'm like, he's got a triplet or something.
Always on the move and unpredictable.
Okay, cool. 2 questions we asked to start the podcast. First one is, what's your favorite dish and from where?
Okay. So my favorite dish is Giorgio's Pizza on West Side Avenue in Jersey City, New Jersey.
Okay.
When I was at NJCU, I used to go there all the time. Giorgio's Pizza. Best pizza in the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Plain or you got a topping on it?
Plain. Just plain with some Parmesan cheese and some garlic and onion powder.
Okay.
And call it a day.
Nice.
Got to brush your teeth right after that.
Cool. And then second question is, someone gives you a blank check. Whatever number you write on it is cash in the next day. Your checking's not your savings. What's going to be the first thing you spend it on?
Charity.
Okay.
Back to the nonprofit. Peace of mind is more important than money for me personally. And I know that money can help a lot of people out in the world.
Nice.
So right to the nonprofit.
Cool. Yeah. Everybody's been selfless with their blank check, and it's cool that the group of people I'm bringing on the podcast, no one's been selfish yet. So I'm waiting for that first person to be like, Lamborghini. But cool. What was you see? So if your favorite pizza is from Jersey City, are you from Jersey City?
Yes, I am.
Cool. So what was like little Eugene growing up in Jersey City?
It was cool. Had a really big head. I was short with a really big head. My dad could attest for that. Grew up in a 2-family house. Me, my mom, my sister, my dad lived on the first floor, and then my grandparents and my aunt lived on the second floor.
Nice.
I shared a room with my sister until we moved to Carteret.
Okay.
So I didn't have my own room until I was like, preteen, teenager. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So where is it like a duplex type of style house, or they were just upstairs?
Yeah, it was a duplex. It was just walk upstairs and it was my grandparents and my aunt.
Nice.
Yeah.
I always wanted my family to live like in a big one house, but I don't think it would work out. So I might have to build one of those cul-de-sacs and everybody get their
own house.
Yeah. We'll visit. I feel like we could take each other in moderation or portions, not
all the time. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So what was like elementary school like?
Elementary was cool. One thing I kind of messed me up a little bit in school was always going to another school. So I went to Lutheran Parochial School in Jersey City on Bergen Ave until 3rd grade. And then 4th and 5th grade, I went to St. Al's on West Side Avenue.
Okay.
Then I moved and then went to middle school in Carteret. Excuse me. I went to St. Joe's in Carteret. And then I moved again to a different school called Assumption Catholic in 8th grade.
Okay.
And then I went to high school, and that's when I finally went to a place where I spent 4 years consistently at. I was always the new kid in every classroom. It was kind of annoying.
So those schools weren't close enough to each other where people knew each other? Oh, okay.
Nah, they were like a whole different group of people every time I went to a different school.
Okay.
Yeah.
And all the schools you listed had a Saint or Catholic, so were they all private?
Yeah, mostly private. I went to a school called Menu School for a little bit, for like half a year.
Okay.
In 5th grade, and that was the first public school that I ever been to. So, but I was always the new kid, always the new face. I was like a nomad growing up.
Yeah, because I went to a private, either Christian or Catholic school all the way up, and I had to wear that light blue shirt with the
Yeah,
dark
yeah, I
blue
know how that
pants
goes.
and then
Yeah, the
the
collar shirt.
dark blue
Yeah, yeah,
tie.
yeah.
Yep. And then sometimes they'll let you wear the short sleeves, but most of the time it was all long
Long
sleeve.
sleeve, and then you had to wear the khaki pants, and then you had to wear a specific type of shoe.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, the no grip at the bottom.
yeah, yeah. It
Yep.
was one school where they let us wear our own shoe, but it had to be like a plain color. So
Okay.
that's when I started rocking the white Air Forces and the black Air Forces. They let me rock with that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool. Is your sister older than you, or younger than you?
she's older than me.
Okay, by
Yeah,
like what? How?
by 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So how was that like having an older sister?
It was cool. My sister is a very like athletic person, just like
Mhm.
myself. So, she was in the sport. She wasn't really the girly girl. She was kind of rough.
Okay.
She had a girly side, but she was mainly an athlete.
Mhm.
So me and her, like, would play around and stuff. And uh, it was a time where we spent a lot of time apart because she went to college when I was in like middle school.
Okay.
So I didn't get to see her as much as I wanted to.
Mhm.
But then when I got older and I got into my 20s, that's when me and her got really, really close because like we're both adults and we're able to do stuff. So, I was just with her on Saturday. We went to Dave and Buster's.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's still real competitive, still real athletic and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did your Dave and Buster's have the tic tac toe basketball?
Yes, it did. And I played her and I
Okay.
beat her.
Cool.
Yeah.
So if you're I'm sure we'll get to it later in the podcast. You're athletic, your sister's athletic. Where did that athleticism come from?
I guess it comes from my genetics.
Okay.
My family's like pretty decently tall. My dad's about 6'2", I'm 6'2".
Okay.
Like my dad like 6'1", I'm like maybe a little bit taller than him. My uncles play sports. One of my uncles played football. One of
Okay.
my cousins, he played in the NBA. So, athleticism and, just having a knack for sports has always been in my family. And then one of my biggest inspirations for basketball is watching my sister growing up.
Mm.
I used to go to her high school games when I was really young. And I watched her score 1,000 points. She scored 1,000 points in
Wow.
high school at St. Mary's. So,
Cool.
yeah.
Was she like one of the first people, or like
That
how many did a lot of people do it at that school? Or
Nah, only her and it was a guy. She was the only girl.
nice.
Yeah.
It's gotta be cool to watch that.
Yeah, yeah. Dope. She made history. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah.
Cool. Um, so when your sister went off to college, being at that age, did you have cousins to look up to, or like who? Like I know growing up by yourself could suck, or
Yeah.
how
I,
was that feeling?
I mean, I feel like I was the only child at
Mhm.
one point in time, because she wasn't around. Me and her had a conversation about that, how I felt. And, she apologized, but she was going through a lot and she was in college. So
Yeah.
she couldn't be there all the time for me. But, we rekindled our relationship as I got older and, we're doing great. But definitely felt like the only child at that time. And I didn't have any cousins that were living near me. My cousins kind of lived all over the states.
Mhm.
I had a cousin in Las Vegas, Maryland, Alabama. I had cousins like all spread out around the states. I had a few local, but they weren't around my age. They were
Mhm.
either really younger, like very young compared to me, or very old. It was like I was the tweener. So I didn't have a lot of people to relate to my age until probably around when I went to high school. I have my cousins on my dad's side that I got close with. But around that time, definitely felt a little bit lonely.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a lot of guys. It was like my cousins when I got into high school were like girls. So I didn't have any, I don't have any brothers. Well, now I do. Obviously, I'm in the frat now, but I didn't have any, brothers growing up. And, you know, I had to figure things out on my own.
Yeah.
I had my dad for sure. He was always in my life, but had to figure things out.
So that was a lot of emotions, you could say. How
Yeah.
did you express them?
I would say like, I was frustrated.
Mhm.
Like I was at times angry. I definitely, had a little anger built up over the years because of that and the frustration.
Mhm.
Um, I had to fight my battles by myself. I didn't have no big brother to call if things went left. I had to fight. I had to just take care of my business. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I definitely don't regret it because it
Mhm.
made me, tougher and it made me who I am today. But definitely was a little rough at times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always found it hard to even if you had someone to express those feelings, sometimes it's like, do you want to be that burden and
Yeah.
share those feelings? Because they might be going through their own things, like your sister was going through,
Yeah.
and she doesn't want to express it to you. So it's just a cluster ball of emotions. And
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
how can we express these emotions? But I'm glad everything worked out, and uh, you were able to release those emotions
Yeah.
and where you're at today?
I would say when I started getting older, the gym is what really helped me release those emotions because I really had them balled up inside for a long time.
Mhm.
And, getting old when I got older and when I started college or even like the end of high school, I started going to the gym and working out like on top of playing basketball. And that really helped me release stress. Even to this day, if I'm feeling a little bit down or even if I'm feeling up or just got to release some stress, I go to the gym,
Cool.
you know?
Yeah, I work nights now, so the gym has been last on my
Yeah, that's
list of things
tough.
to do. But I could just feel my body the way when I used to go to the gym often.
Yeah.
From now, it's like you feel the sluggish of
Yeah, yeah.
I need to get back on track.
It's all good. Start tomorrow.
Yeah, what they say? Maybe Monday. Oh wait, today is Monday. They got
Yeah,
got.
you gotta start today
Yeah, got.
then.
But so jumping from school to school, I felt like a lot, not a lot of people, but bullying is a topic. From going
Yeah.
to school, did you feel that bullying in those schools, or it was just
Yeah, I
like
definitely got bullied. In fourth grade I got bullied
okay,
and it was tough, God would wait till I go to the stall and push me into the
mm.
stall and then, punch me in my stomach when he walked past. But I took care of that. I beat him up one day. I got tired of it and, I waited till he was in the bathroom. He was alone and, I took care of him
Mm.
and then he never bullied me again. And then I don't think I really went through bullying after that.
Yeah.
I think I did go through racism in high school because I went to a vocational school
Okay.
and definitely went through some racism my freshman year but I beat him up too. And then after that, I was good. So I kind of had to earn my respect and, shut people up with my hands because the words wasn't, working.
Yeah.
It ain't but so much you could talk about. You keep, being racist or bullying me. I'm just gonna put my hands on you.
Yeah.
And then it worked.
It's unfortunate that sometimes either someone has to get hurt or you have to hurt someone
Yeah.
for things to just stop. When it's like, why did I have to get this
Yeah.
far? Where and then your knuckles hurt and now you're sore and
And you
bruised.
suspended.
Yeah, that's just it
Yeah.
sucks. But you said you went to a vocational school. Like,
Yeah.
what was your shop or specialty?
Machine tool technology.
Okay.
I used to make hammers handmade and
Oh wow.
antennas for cars, car parts.
Okay.
I used to make all types of stuff out of metal.
Nice.
I was really good with metal. It was dangerous though.
Oh, what? Why?
Cause like, all you got is safety glasses, and sometimes you wear gloves, but sometimes you don't.
Okay.
And you're dealing with metal and things spinning and saws. I almost cut my finger off one time, trying to cut a piece of aluminum. So I don't know why I did that. I mean, it was cool because like I make things with my hands and the craftsmanship, but all in all, that's really dangerous.
Yeah.
And I look back at it like, yeah, I'm bugging. I don't know why I did that.
So much for PPE.
Yeah.
That's crazy. What made you want to choose a vocational school over like a traditional school?
I didn't get to really pick that.
Okay.
I would say when I moved to Carteret, I had problems with some kids at the basketball courts.
Okay.
And, there was a lot of fighting going on in Carteret High School at the time. And my parents felt like I was going to be a part of that.
Okay.
So they sent me to a school away from everybody. And I'm glad because, number one, I never messed with no girls in my town. So my name don't go out there. I don't know everybody in the town unless you're an athlete or I met you somewhere and whatnot. So I live in a town where I can walk around peacefully and nobody knows who I am and nobody knows what I do. Okay. I feel like if I went to the high school and I was heavily involved, then everybody would be knowing me and it would kind of be annoying.
Yeah.
I like being low key.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody knows that when I walk down the street, I'm a professional basketball player. They just look at me as a regular dude. I kind of like that.
Did you play basketball for the vocational school?
Yeah.
Okay. How was that like team ranked or?
Oh, they were trash, but I got cut my freshman year actually.
Okay.
Yeah, my freshman year, the coach felt like I wasn't good enough to make the team, and I think that's what got that chip on my shoulder that got me to where I'm at today.
Okay.
I was very angry. I was very frustrated. I felt disrespected. I felt like the players that made the team over me weren't better than me. But I'm like, all right, cool. So I worked my tail off that whole summer, and I came back and I made the team. I made JV. Was a starter on JV and then played varsity my junior and senior year. I proved them wrong,
Nice.
And the players that made the team over me, I started over them when I came back. So I'm like, yeah.
Did you ever like being an adult now, do you know the reason why you were quote unquote cut from the team or
this is might be embarrassing, but we on the podcast. I don't have no reason to lie.
Okay.
I pulled up to the tryout with a long sleeve sweater because I
Mm.
didn't have a shirt,
Okay.
and I had like a long sleeve sweater with basketball shorts on,
Mhm.
and I was real short and skinny, so I didn't pass the eye test.
Okay.
But if you seen the way I played, I was better than most of those players. So I guess it was the eye test and the physical appearance.
Okay.
But I grew like a tree. Fun fact, I was 5'1" my freshman year. I was the shortest kid in my class.
Wow.
And I didn't stop growing until senior year of college.
Okay.
I was 5'8" when I graduated high school, and I was growing in college.
Wow.
Yeah, and I hit 6'2" in my last year, senior year.
Was there anything in it? It was probably them pieces.
Yeah, probably that Giorgio's or something. Yeah, I just kept growing. People were like, yo, you getting taller every year. If you look at my roster, height on my college team, it's a different height every year. It's like 5'10", 5'11", 6', 6'1", 6'2". Yeah.
Okay. So in high school in basketball, like you said it was trash when you joined. How did
Yeah.
the progression of the team go throughout high school?
Oh, semi-trash. It got a little bit better,
Okay.
but it was trash. No disrespect. Look, Coach Staples, I don't know if you're gonna see this. No disrespect, but he didn't have the basketball mind to make a program like grow as far as basketball.
Okay.
I feel like my school and high school was focused on the baseball team.
Okay.
They put most of their money on the baseball team. They had a nice field. They had pretty good players. It wasn't a basketball school, put it that way.
Okay.
It became a basketball school when I graduated. I know that after I graduated, they got pretty good
Okay.
and whatnot. But when I played, he was just a gym teacher that was a coach.
Gotcha.
I'm not gonna say he didn't know anything about basketball, but compared to coaches I had after that, it was a big difference.
Okay.
He didn't set you up for college.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So in high school, was it go to shop, play basketball, go home, or was there any like extracurricular activities you did for yourself?
It was pretty much like you just said. Go to class, go to shop, practice, go home. But my senior year, I had a little job in a machine shop.
Okay.
After the season was over, I got me a little job in New Brunswick. So I was going there. If you work in an actual field for your shop, you get to leave school at 12:30. So 12:30, I was out and I was working like 1 to 5.
Nice,
just
like
making
a work
money.
study type of thing.
Yeah, it was cool.
Okay.
And I had a car my senior year, so I was out. You
Nice.
know? Yeah.
Did you that was all on you, or did your parents help you out?
So I had a piggy bank saved up since I was a baby.
Okay.
Like I just put like quarters and stuff in it, and I made a little savings account at a young age that I shared with my mom. And by the time I was able to get a car, I had the money for it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
What I guess instilled in you to start saving at a young age? Was it your
My mom?
Okay.
My mom is very good with money.
Mhm.
Shout out to my mom. She always told me the importance of saving up money and the importance of, don't worry about being flashy. Don't worry about this. Just worry about, surviving. Make sure you're having the things you need and other things you want.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I had a small job my freshman year of high school, and I remember the first paycheck I got. Everybody's running to the check cashing place, and now and that was my first financial advice from my dad. He was like, "One, how are you gonna let someone charge you to cash your check and give it to you, and then everybody spends it?" It was like, well, the first thing you do is pay yourself first. So it's cool that at a young age, your mom looked you out with that piggy bank.
I still carry that mentality. If I get $1 million, I'm still driving my Nissan. I don't care. I don't want no Lambo. I'm gonna invest in some property, keep making income.
Nice.
Yeah.
Playing basketball, I guess most of your career, were your parents involved? Like, or was it like you were on your own?
Nah, they was definitely involved.
Okay.
When I was in college, my parents were at damn near every game.
Wow.
My sister as well at damn near every game. Even when I finished up my senior year at NJCU, I was a grad assistant and I was a coach.
Okay.
Even as a coach, they were still at all my games.
Wow.
So I had a really good support system coming from my parents. I really didn't have it from, a brother perspective.
Yeah.
Like of having brothers, but my sister, my mom, my dad, all the time support me. Even to this day, support me.
Nice.
So
it's always good to have that group of people. So them days where you feel down or you don't have the energy, they're the ones that spark that
pick me up. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So I'm assuming you graduated high school.
Yeah. Graduated. Cool. Yeah.
Nice. So what was your what's your mindset next about high school? Because the the theme we have is usually you get a job,
Yeah.
the military, or a college.
It was definitely college.
Okay.
Uh, Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get any offers to get a scholarship out of high school
Mhm.
because our school wasn't that good, and we didn't get the exposure. So I knew I had to go, work my way up. So I went to Middlesex County College,
Okay.
where I walked on. Didn't even get recruited. Walked on, and I had to work my way to get on the team and work my way to the rotation. So fun story. Um, Beginning of the season, I was probably the 14th man off the bench,
Mm.
and shout out to Coach Jackson. He just threw me in the game like midway through the first half just to give me a shot.
Mhm.
I came in, I scored 10 points in like 2 minutes,
Wow.
and I was just hitting. They actually put an article of me doing that on the newspaper when we won that game because I was like the X factor. And after that game, he threw me in a rotation. I ended up being a sixth man.
Wow.
Yeah, so that definitely elevated my career that game. Like I'm the type of person my whole life, once you give me an opportunity, I take full advantage of it. And we'll definitely get to that when we talk about like my pro days and all
Mhm.
of that stuff. Um After that, I ended up playing another year for Coach Jackson at Middlesex, and I was a starter. I led the team in scoring. I was number one in the country in free throw percentage, and I was top 10 in 3-point percentage. So I shot 40, 50, 90, 50% from the field, 40% from three, and 90% from the free throw line. That's like great stats when it comes to basketball. Like you want to have those stats.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot you said right now. So for the
Yeah.
non-athletes that watch the show, the first thing I want to ask you, what is a walk-on?
A walk-on means you didn't get recruited, you don't have a scholarship, and you're not on the list of players that the coach wants. You have to literally prove yourself, and they only take 2 walk-ons per team, depending on, what school you go to.
So you go show up to a practice and then you
You show up
practice.
to a tryout, you
Okay.
gotta bust your ass to make the team.
Mm.
You know, you gotta prove to the coach that you want to be here and that you belong there.
Yeah.
So, I spent my whole life doing that, going somewhere where I'm not necessarily wanted, but earning my spot somewhere and then making an impact once I earn my spot.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then you said you were the 14th man. How many players are on the whole team?
There's 16. So I
Yeah.
was, it was only 2 players that, would get less playing time than me.
Yeah.
And I got to fight with everybody else. So I got bumped up from 14 to 6 man. As soon as
Nice.
somebody messed up or was in foul trouble at my position, I came right in. Yeah.
Nice. And then what made you is Middlesex Community College, that's the community college in I guess Carteret or
Yeah, in the county, yeah.
Okay. And then was there any other schools that you wished you went to, or it was like you only could go to that school?
I mean, obviously we had to save money.
Mhm.
I wasn't rich growing up.
Yeah.
So I had to make sure that college was affordable. And my parents taught me the importance of getting my associates and then transferring to save money.
Yeah.
I listened to them, I trusted them, and I did what was necessary.
Yeah.
And after I finished Middlesex, I graduated with my associates
Nice.
in psychology, and appreciate that. And I had to walk on again because I didn't get recruited. I got most improved player, and I was an all conference player.
Mm.
And I only got recruited to play at Rutgers Newark and a partial scholarship at Felician.
Okay.
And it wasn't enough. So I just wanted to come back to Jersey City. It was affordable. I knew I was going to get a good education, and I was born there. So why not? My family's from Jersey City, my whole family. So I knew if, I had games, my family would come and support me.
Yeah.
So went there, emailed the coach, went to a couple open runs in the summertime, proved myself enough to, get the coach's catch the coach's eye.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know if I was making the team or not. So I literally had to walk on again. I had to go to the preseason workouts in September and bust my ass. Came over there, 14 man again. Didn't get a lot of playing time at all.
Mm-hmm.
This situation was a little bit different. I was a younger dude that was a junior amongst grown men. I was like 20 years old, and most of the players on my team were like 28, 27-year-old sophomores, juniors, grown men bodies. And like I said, it took me a little bit to develop. So
Yeah.
I'm still a little bit skinny, and these guys are grown men. Tattoos all over, over 25 years old. We had 25-year-old freshmen playing basketball. Shout out to my bro Sam, but he was a little old, bro. But that's my guy though. But I had to compete with bigger, more mature, physically developed men. So it was tough. Still made the team. I had a couple good games. I had one game where I scored like 11 points in 6 minutes. And then after that, I didn't even get a lot of playing time. I had games that I had playing time, games that I didn't play. So it was tough,
Yeah.
But I still, had the ambition mindset to be successful. I still had that grit and that chip on my shoulder to come back the following year even better. So I went to all the workouts in the summer. I really locked in the weight room. I probably gained about 10, 15 pounds over that summer,
Mm,
just locked in. Came back my senior year, ready. Didn't get a lot of playing time, but played way more than I did the first year.
mm,
And, I had a couple big games, did all I could do to help. Definitely NJCU was a big defensive school. They didn't really focus on offense, but they were a big defensive minded school. So I came into NJCU a horrible defender. You could ask Coach Brown. I hope Coach Brown see this. I was a horrible defender. Came out of NJCU a very solid defender, and I definitely helped me going into my professional career.
cool.
Yeah.
So backtrack a little bit. When you're playing for these community colleges, I know for football they have huddle. Is
Mhm.
there like is huddle for like is huddle for basketball too?
Yeah, they huddle for sure.
So no, I meant the website.
Oh, okay.
So how you have clips and highlights of you
Oh, they have
throughout
this thing
playing.
called Synergy where they
Okay.
got all the film and then you can put something together to
Uh,
make a highlight film.
did you have one of those in the community college, or you were more?
Yeah, I had one in
Okay.
community college. I definitely sent that out to a lot of coaches,
Okay.
but it was tough. I feel like nowadays it's easier to get a scholarship because social media.
Okay.
Back then, it wasn't even that long ago, like 2016,
Mhm.
but still, like social media in 2016 wasn't like how it is now.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's like you post a couple clips of reels of you going crazy and a
Mhm.
million people see it, and now you got a D1 scout DMing you or somebody that relates to a D1 school hitting you up.
Yeah. How did you feel feeling as though you are the way you play is this high, but people see you this high? Like how'd that work out?
Okay, you talking about college, right?
College, growing up playing, however you wanna
Uh,
work
a lot of people, underestimated me because of my size.
mhm.
I still go through that a little bit, but not as much. It's my grit, man, and my competitiveness. I ain't scared of nobody. I could go play LeBron right now and I'm at him.
Mhm.
I never backed down from anybody and I always had toughness and I worked hard and I executed. When I needed to execute, I executed. Uh that's one thing that a lot of athletes need to, learn. There's some gems right here for y'all. You can work hard all day, but when it's time to play, you gotta execute. You know, Work ethic, hard work, it pays off, but it has to pay off. You got to make sure you apply that hard work when it's game time.
Mhm.
If you don't apply that hard work when it's game time, then it means absolutely nothing. Execution is key, you know. And I was one of those people that was able to execute, and that's what got me where I'm at.
Bars.
Yeah.
In terms of motivation, like you said, you worked hard, extra practice, gained 15 pounds. What was the motivation or where did that motivation come from to be the player you are today?
Once you get clowned for, being small or you get clowned for things, teased and underrated and, being an underdog, that never leaves your mind. I always think about that stuff to this day, how people slept on me and people teased me and made fun of me and told me I'll never make it. That stuff never goes away. That chip on my shoulder, it will never go away. I will always have that. That will never leave my brain. So I always got that anger that I had when people made fun of me, and I use that to fuel me when I work hard.
Cool. So you saying that you were playing with grown men in community college. How does it work? Like there's no age bracket when you
Nah, for college, and that was at NJCU. But
Okay.
when you're playing college basketball, you could be playing against grown men.
Wow.
Like it could be a 30-year-old, 19, 20 years old playing against a 30-year-old. It don't matter.
Okay. Just the mentality wise, how was it being the age you were playing with, you could say grown men?
It was definitely shocking. It was definitely something that I had to adjust to, but it was something I was willing to adjust to.
Yeah.
I always preach, get comfortable being uncomfortable. I like being uncomfortable. I love it because when you get comfortable, sometimes you get complacent and there's no room for growth if you're complacent. So I feel like if you're always uncomfortable and you learn how to be comfortable being uncomfortable, then you'll grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of playing, is it like can they play community college basketball forever?
You only get like 4 years of college eligibility and then you're finished. So they got 4 years of being old or whatever, and that's it. Like you got to pack it up.
Cool. So Did what was your major that you chose when you went to NJCU?
I kept in psychology.
Okay,
My dad was a psych major growing up, so he inspired me to partake in psychology.
nice.
I like the study of the mind. I feel like, obviously you got to go to school to at least a bachelor's or master's to make good money off of it,
Hmm.
but it's a good career to get into, and it's something that is beneficial to the community and people.
Okay,
Yeah.
what did your dad do, or what's he do?
Oh, he works in a hospital. He's done a lot of different things in psychology, drug counseling.
Okay,
He studied psychopharmacology, so he did drug counseling. And now he's in a hospital doing like a lot of paperwork.
okay,
Yeah, now he's chilling. Like he's getting closer to retirement, so
yeah,
he's not doing all of that field work anymore.
okay.
Yeah.
And what's your mom do?
She works for Health First Insurance Company in New York,
Okay.
and she's the human resources manager.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
How was college besides basketball?
Well, it was lit. I had a lot of fun. One of my teammates, shout out to my brother Ruben. He was my teammate and roommate,
Okay.
and we pretty much did everything together. We went out together. We was in the gym together, party, girls, all of that stuff. That's my guy, man. I'm glad that I met him because me and him, really close to this day. That's like my brother for real.
Hmm.
Talk to him damn near every day, not only about basketball, just about life. If I get married tomorrow, he's gonna be at my wedding. He's my groomsman for sure.
Nice.
Yeah. Um, Definitely a learning experience, living on your own because I lived on campus. So
Okay. I know it's a
yeah,
mainly a commuter
it's a
school
mainly
though.
a commuter
Okay.
school. But when I came to NJCU, they had a brand new building called West Campus Village.
Okay.
And that's when they were in the era of having dorm students over there.
Mm.
And I came at the right time.
Okay.
Definitely a great experience. It was a brand new dorm, had a pool table, TVs, definitely a great community area. Had like a weight room in the fourth floor, had a study lounge on the third floor, and it had like the food area in the second floor. So it was
Nice.
cool. Met a lot of friends, met a lot of people I still talk to this day, learned a lot, good and bad, had a lot of experiences that I applied to my life to this day.
Cool. Did you get any benefits as being an athlete on campus,
Oh yeah,
or
for
like they
sure.
treat you as a
Yeah, we
regular
didn't have a
student?
football team, so we
Okay.
was that team. When I was at NJCU, we went to the championship my first year there.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, we made the postseason every year. I played in the NCAA tournament every year.
Okay.
So we got to travel to Boston. We got to travel to like upstate New York for the NCAA tournament.
Nice.
And we had all the gear. They had to pay for nothing. So we just walking around in sweatsuits, sweat jackets, the hats, you know what I'm saying, the team sneakers. Didn't have to pay for any sneakers, had the sweatpants, everything, the whole nine.
Nice.
Had access to the gym all the time. So we had a shooting gun, so we had access to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And any extracurricular activities where our paths crossed?
Oh yeah, obviously, the fraternity. Shout out to Psi Sigma Phi Multicultural Fraternity Incorporated. My last 2 years at NJCU, I was a brother on campus, and it was dope. Definitely made a lot of connections. Being a part of the fraternity, you get a lot of popularity with that. So I had that with the basketball. So, I was just the man on campus at one point, and it was dope. Definitely had some good times, being around the bros. I would say COVID changed a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
Greek life got a little bit different after COVID.
Yeah.
It slowed down. Unfortunately, I joined Spring 19, so I had one full good year of like Greek life. Yeah, and then the next year things just died down.
Yeah.
And it kind of sucked because I graduated right after COVID, and I didn't get to experience Greek life like some other brothers did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Going back to the basketball athlete, to the people watching the show or listening on podcasts, do you think going to a community college and trying to be a walk-on there is better than going to the school you want to go to? Or do you think the path you took is better?
It all depends on your situation.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I couldn't afford to go to a big school and walk on. Would I have tried it? Yeah, I would have tried it.
Mm-hmm.
It all depends on your situation. Everybody's story is different. But, I highly recommend the community college route, especially nowadays, because they have a new NCAA rule. If you play at a community college 2 years and then you go to a 4-year university,
Mm-hmm.
those 2 years of eligibility don't count.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go play at junior college for 2 years and then go to a 4-year and have a full 4 years. I only had 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go to a good basketball school and develop your game and then play those 2 years and then get a scholarship.
Nice.
opposed to fresh out of high school, being young, still trying to learn.
Yeah.
Once you clock in that game, the time clock starts. You can't get it back. You already played your freshman year. Once you sub in that game or you start that game, once they do the tip off, freshman year, you can't get that year back.
Gotcha.
So maybe I suggest some guys who are not developed yet and still want to learn more basketball, go to a 2-year. Play that 2-year. There's a lot of great players that play in community college. There's a lot of great coaches that have resources and access to Division I schools, Division II, and Division III. So I highly recommend, if you're not sure how your skill level is and you're not sure how you are financially and you want to play sports, go to a 2-year school, develop your game, and then you'll be ready when it's time to play 4-year.
Cool.
Yeah.
I hope you guys are listening to
Yeah.
that gem right there. In terms of coaches, is there any like a coach that sticks out, like as far back as you can remember, that gave you that drive to want to be better and become the player you are today?
Yeah, I would say Coach Jackson and Coach Brown. I just saw Coach Brown last week. Shout out to him. Me and him still have a great relationship. After I graduated NJCU, he let me be on his coaching staff for 2 years and get my master's without paying. So
Wow.
he helped me out. Yeah, shout out to him. And Coach Jackson, man. Coach Jackson is what, helped me understand that playing college basketball is no joke.
Mm-hmm.
He came from a Division I program. He was an assistant coach at Seton Hall and at Bowling Green. So he had that Division I mindset and mentality and gave it to us at a 2-year school. He had us doing study hall. He had us doing pregame meals. He had us doing D1 things at a, D3 school.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so happy that he did that. Mandatory weight room, mandatory, getting shots up after practice. 3 swishes in a row after practice. I'm going to send this to him so he can remember. 3 swishes in a row at the free throw line or you can't leave practice.
Wow.
I applied that to, my game when I started playing overseas. Can't leave without making that.
Nice.
They gave me that grit. Shout out to Coach Brown for turning me into a defender. Now I'm a two-way player. I was just an offensive player. Now I'll lock you up and score on you. Hay used to go crazy. Yo, man, you got to play defense. And, I used to get upset, but he was right. You're not going to go nowhere without playing defense.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to him. Shout out to Coach Jackson for giving me the confidence and turning me into an all-conference player.
Nice.
And I wouldn't be an all-conference player if it wasn't for Coach Jackson pushing me and believing in me.
What's an all-conference player mean?
Like, you're one of the best players in the league.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So when you say league, is it like all the community colleges in New Jersey?
In that region.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what would
We was Region 19. You could compare all conference to all NBA.
Okay.
Like all NBA players first team, second team. I was second team all conference. So that's like making all NBA second team.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. So after graduation from NJC, you said you stayed another 2 years to get your master's.
Yeah.
What'd you get your master's in?
I got my master's in psychology, educational.
Nice.
Yeah, I had to keep going up,
Mm-hmm.
The ball ain't gonna bounce forever. So I figured I needed to have something to fall back on. My mom told me just focus on your education. Basketball ain't going nowhere. I was only 21. So I'm like, I got to get my master's.
Okay.
Why not? And I don't have to pay for it. Why not?
Yeah.
So
how was that program?
It was cool. I was so locked in that I made sure I did what I needed to do. And, I had all the motivation that I needed to get the job done. And school was something that was never difficult for me.
Mm-hmm.
Even my undergrad, I graduated with a 3.76.
Nice.
Being an athlete and a part of fraternity, made sure that my grades were high. So that was never really a problem for me.
Cool.
I could multitask. You could throw me in the woods with just underwear. I'm gonna make it out. Any situation you throw at me, I'm gonna find a way to make it out.
That's great.
That's just me.
What's slow mo again? You throw me into the woods with the wolves. I come back leading the pack.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back leading the pack. Yeah.
Throw me in the woods with my
drawers. How did that happen? Don't worry about it.
With my drawers on.
I'm gonna make it out.
Cool. For the people that don't know what a master's program is, what is a master's program?
So a master's program is a 2-year program, like typically. Just like a bachelor's degree is a 4-year program, but some people take longer. It's a higher degree. It's a lot more money, and it'll make you a lot more money once you graduate. They have master's degrees in pretty much every field, just like a bachelor's degree. It's just a higher education. It's great to have in your job resume description. Uh, Employers are a lot more likely to call you for an interview if you have a master's. Some job requirements require you to have a minimum of a master's, you know. So if you want to hit six figures, I highly recommend getting a master's degree. It'll help you out in the long run. It's a pain in the butt, but it's beneficial. You know, the reward is more beneficial than the struggle.
Cool.
You know?
Well, so was it just psychology, or was it like a focus in a certain type of?
Oh, yeah, it was educational psychology.
Okay.
So I could work in the school system. I could be a school psychologist. I can, pretty much do anything education wise with psychology.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, you got the masters. Is there like any state tests or like national tests you have to take to show that you're certified, or the degree is enough?
The degree is enough.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Cool.
especially the fact that I got three of them. So that definitely helps. Yeah.
Sounds good. That's
Yeah.
a bar right there. So you get your masters. What's going on with life next? Because I don't know too many people that got their masters.
Okay, so I got my master's and then COVID hits. A lot of people got affected by COVID negatively. I would say COVID was my best friend.
Mm.
The reason why I say that is because during COVID, a lot of people were inside, not able to work, not able to go to school. School became virtual. Everything became virtual. All stores were closed except for grocery stores and things that people needed.
Mhm.
I took full advantage of it. Worked out 3 times a day, every day. Worked on my game, watched a lot of film. The world was on pause, but I wasn't. I was on 100 miles per hour because I knew I wanted to do something with basketball. And I took full advantage of that opportunity to, get my body right. My uncle owned a boxing gym. Shout out to David. And his gym was open during COVID. Just
Mm.
had to make sure you take the temperature, put the mask on while you're in the gym. I was in that boxing gym every single day.
You was boxing with a mask on?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Hey, that helped me with my stamina for
Yeah.
sure. I was in there every single day, boxing, cardio, weight room. He had a weight room in there too, so I was getting stronger, getting bigger. You know, at that time, I went to school to become a personal trainer.
Mm.
So I became a certified personal trainer by, I want to say, July or August of 2020.
Okay.
So my uncle was letting me do classes in there to make money. So I was doing my personal training, training myself, boxing, sparring, getting in shape. And by the time it was time for me to, start going overseas, I was ready. I was more than ready. Uh, I was the type of person that knocked on 1,000 doors and then one person answered. I didn't get recruited for any overseas opportunity. I didn't even have an agent. I just hit up like teams. I had a bunch of contacts list that a friend of mine gave me.
Okay.
And I went on Eurobasket and I hit up mad teams, like probably 1,000 teams in almost every country. I really wanted it and I wanted it bad. One team responded to me. Shout out to Coach Harry Savaya, because he's one of the reasons why I got Jordan too.
Okay.
So yeah, this name is really important in my pro career. He contacted me. He gave me an opportunity to play in Moldova in Europe. And like I said, I took full advantage of the opportunity. I went over there and led the country in scoring. I averaged 39.5 points a game and 5 steals a game. So that opened up doors for me to get opportunities to go elsewhere. Right after that, I went to Armenia. I played there for half a season, then went to Portugal. I got picked up to make more money in Portugal, led my team to the Final Four. They were about 4-6 when I got there. We ended up being 18-6.
Nice.
Yeah, or 18-7. We lost one game in the regular season, and went to the playoffs. Went to the Final Four. Almost won a championship, and it just kept going up from there.
All right, let's pause because
Yeah.
that was
There's a lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I felt like you just went over it, and that's big accomplishments to join becoming a pro and then overseas.
Yeah.
You said during the summer you was working out 3 times a day and watching film.
Yeah.
For that upcoming athlete, young guy. What type of workouts did you do, and then what did you watch when you said films?
Okay, so as far as workouts, a lot of calisthenics, a lot of conditioning. I used to wake up and go to the track with my sister and one of my boys. Shout out to my sister Alicia. Shout out to my boy Justin. We used to go to the track like 8 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, and run like 2 miles before I did any workout. Then I would go to the weight room at the boxing gym. If it was leg day, I did legs. 2 days a week. I did upper body 3 days a week. But I did 100 pull-ups, 100 push-ups, 100 dips every single day,
Wow.
and 100 crunches every single day. Every single like 7 days a week, every day. A lot of calisthenics. I started getting into whey protein because I had a really fast metabolism. Still got a really fast metabolism. Whey protein. Went to GNC. Got a little membership there. You know, took my protein shake. Little milk with the ice cream, vanilla ice cream. Mix it up. Tastes good. Brush your teeth after. It got a lot of sugar because I had a cavity off that. But protein shakes and staying consistent with the workout schedule. Write it down and make sure that you follow it.
Cool. And then
Yeah.
nutrition.
Nutrition. I was a pescatarian at the time. I was a pescatarian for 5 years up until, I started going to these countries that didn't have my diet. So I had to go back to eating meat, but I only really eat chicken.
Okay.
But it's tough being in a foreign country for like 8-9 months. And then you can't eat the food that you need to perform at the high level that you need to perform at. So I had to revert back to, eating meat. But
yeah.
At that time, pescatarian diet, clean diet. I don't drink soda at all. I don't drink coffee. I only drink water, occasional juice, and Gatorade.
Wow.
Yeah. And even now, I don't even drink juice no more. I just drink water.
Wow.
Water with lemon.
I got cases of Coke upstairs.
Hey, I ain't knocking nobody for doing it, but I feel like personally for me, it helped me.
Yeah.
The sugar intake. And then also I found out that diabetes runs in my family. I've never been diagnosed, but I just try to keep my blood sugar low just in case.
Yeah.
I don't want to have diabetes. My dad never got it, but I think my grandmother had it on my dad's side. It runs on my dad's side. So I just try to, be cautious of that.
Yeah. It runs on my dad's side too.
Yeah.
And then you said you got your personal training certificate.
Yeah.
What sparked the idea to get it, and then what was the process of getting it?
I got really big into the fitness, and my mom, my mom was one of my biggest supporters, and she suggested that I get my, certification in personal training. I had downtime. It was COVID. I'm just working out anyway. Might as well go to school for it. Went to school for it. It was about an 8-week course.
Okay.
But I finished it in 4 weeks.
Nice.
Yeah, it was locked in.
It was online?
It was online, yeah.
Okay.
But I was super locked in. I wanted to get that done. And want to be sitting on the computer for 8 weeks, get that over with.
Yeah. So you do it at your own pace?
Yeah, you do it at your own pace, but you got up to like 8 weeks for the class.
Okay.
Yeah. If you finish in 1 week, you finish in 1 week.
Oh, wow.
That's OD. Like I got a life too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I took the class. I took not only a regular personal training certification, I wanted to specialize in strength and conditioning.
Okay.
You had the option to, pay extra to specialize in strength and conditioning or nutrition. But I want to do that. So, later down the line, I could be a strength and conditioning coach for a D1 college or something like that.
Was it like a NASMN course or?
It's called ISSA, International Sports Science Association. It's one of the best personal trainer courses in the world. They'll hire you real quick for that one. Yeah. It's a little bit better than NASM.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And then you took the test, you passed it. Was it on your first try you passed it or?
Okay, so the regular personal trainer certification, I passed that with flying colors. The strength and conditioning, I had to do one portion of the test over.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the short answer part. Anything multiple choice, I passed. But the short answer one, I messed up on a few answers. So I redid that and I passed it. And then they really test you in that class because you got to make a video of you doing an hour-long workout with somebody as a test.
Wow.
So I had to have one of my boys, I had to have a tripod set up and record one of my boys doing workouts with me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So they make sure you can't cheat on them tests.
Yeah,
you got to
that's
be
like
legit.
A critical thinking part of the test. Cool. How was that set up? Like, did you have a setup already or did you have to figure out?
I did it in the boxing gym. I had the keys to it. So,
nice.
Fortunately for me, I had the resource to do it. Yeah.
Was that your first time putting someone through a workout?
Nah, I had already been doing personal training before I became certified.
Okay.
And then when I became certified, it just made it even easier for me to get clients.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then now we could get into the your pro career. You said you are sending emails or contacting a lot of coaches.
A lot of coaches.
How was it phone calls, emails?
It was emails, social media, sending them my college film and introducing myself, my height, and where I played in my experience.
Okay.
And just trying to get that door open for me.
Give or take, how many contacts or reach outs do you think you did?
1,000. Minimum 1,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then how many responded?
One? Oh, I got a lot of responses, but it was no.
Okay.
I probably got like 200-300 no's, and then another 500 didn't respond at all, and I got one response that I said, yeah.
Nice.
You know, I always
How'd
been
that
a firm
feel?
believer that you knock on 100 doors, somebody gonna answer,
Yeah.
or 1,000 in my case. Yeah,
How'd that one feel though?
felt great. I was at work. I was working at Whole Foods Market at the time, and I literally ran to the bathroom to answer the phone call. And he told me, what he offered me, and what it could do for my career, and I took it. You
Nice.
know,
When we saw the phone call, like I don't answer phone numbers that I don't know because it's like spam likely.
yeah.
Did it say Moldova or?
No. So he hit me up through Facebook, and he said, "I'm gonna call you." So he
Oh,
called me through
okay.
Facebook Messenger,
Nice.
and gave me the whole conversation about everything and what the dates are. So yeah, you only live once.
Yeah.
I've been wanting this for a long time. It's my dream, so I'm gonna make sure I take advantage of the opportunity.
Yeah. What was the first steps like saying yes, I'm coming to Moldova? Like what was your mindset like?
It was like, yo, this don't feel real. But I kept it on the low. One thing about me, I don't really tell everybody about my
Mhm.
accomplishments. I like to just do them. Sometimes when you tell everybody what you got going on and it don't work out, and they ask, hey, what happened with such and such? What happened with that? You're just gonna look dumb.
Yeah.
I like to just do it. Even when like every season, every contract I sign, I tell my close ones, like my family, my mom, my dad, my sister, few close friends. But I don't really tell anybody,
Mhm.
because I don't want to block my blessings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like what was the process like? So he said, "Yeah, I want you." You said, "Yeah, I'm coming." Like how was getting your life together to move it to a whole new world?
Um, it was still COVID, so it
Okay.
was easy to just pack up and go. It wasn't nothing going on. So
Yeah.
I'm out. Like,
Okay.
pack my suitcase, make sure I got everything, and I'm out, you know.
Was there like a practice before he picked you up, or sending those videos were enough for him?
It was enough.
Okay.
He told me that he was gonna give me a chance. And
Nice.
that's all I needed was a chance. Yeah.
Cool. So where is Moldova?
Right next to Ukraine,
Okay.
about 40 minutes driving. Yeah, this was before the war, so
Okay.
yeah.
And then what was it like over there?
They speak Russian and Romanian.
Okay.
Very quiet. No black people.
Wow.
They definitely stared at me a lot.
Hmm.
Not in a negative way all the time. They were just happy to see us, me and the few black people that was out there, and they wanted to take a lot of pictures with us.
Wow.
So every time I walked down the street, photo, photo. I'm like, all right, I got you. Felt like a little celebrity out there. It was cool.
Was the team diverse or?
It was only me and two other Americans that spoke English. Shout out
Okay.
to my boy Javante. Shout out to my boy JC. Those are my first teammates overseas. My boy JC was from New York, but he lived in Jersey. And then my other boy, he's from Arkansas.
Okay.
So yeah, I went overseas with somebody that I already knew before I went. So it was cool.
Okay.
That was my guy. Yeah.
Cool. And then what was playing like?
It was cool. It wasn't the highest league, but it was getting my foot in the door.
Mhm.
I was hungry and locked in. I was, talking my shit. You know what I'm saying? Can I curse on here?
Yeah,
All right, cool.
I think
Yeah,
you cursed a lot a couple times
okay.
before.
All right,
We're
I just want to
good.
make sure.
We're good.
I was talking my shit, man. I was angry. Not angry like at anybody, but real locked in and really, passionate about taking advantage of the opportunity. So, I came in there like a dog.
Mm.
People was intimidated by me, and I was cool with that.
How were the practices like? Were they like something you experienced before? Or it was a
It
whole
was a
new
little bit
world.
different, but it was pretty chill.
Mhm.
I remember the first week of practice, the news came out because
Mhm.
we were the first Americans to sign for that team.
Wow.
So we were actually on the news the first week. We were out there. They had interviews for us and did a little documentary on their local channel.
Nice.
So
Were you treated like celebrities? Like you got the best of the best?
yeah, I got treated good out there for sure.
Okay.
Nice little apartment.
And they pay for it.
Yeah, they pay for everything.
Nice.
Yeah, it was cool.
I don't like to talk about people's pockets.
No, I
But
understand.
for the I feel like for that person that wants to do the NBA and their path don't work to the NBA, what's the money they can make going overseas to
It all depends.
ball?
You can be making $500 a month, or you could be making 500,000 a month.
Wow.
Yeah, it all depends on what market you get in. It depends on who you know, and it's a grind. Depends on what country you're in. So Europe, it's really a grind with Europe. You really got to work your way up to the top. EuroLeague is the top of the top, $1 million contracts.
Mhm.
You could start off in the top league somewhere and then move your way up. But you come from where I come from, you really got to grind. My contracts was not really that good to begin with, but If you play in the Middle East, they only take NBA guys or G League guys or
Mm.
D1 standout guys, but they're paying you like minimum 10,000 a month,
Wow.
minimum 15,000 a month. If you've been solidified in that league, you can make 50,000 a month.
Wow.
You know, and they
Mm,
pay for everything, so you just saving that money.
that
Pay for
number
your
sounds.
food, they pay for your flight, they pay for your apartment. You ain't paying for nothing. If you want to go shopping, that's on you. But if you
Yeah.
want to save your money and be a little frugal, you could come back with like 300, 400K.
Wow.
And
Bring that
the
little piggy
government
bank
don't
with
know
you.
about that. You know what I'm saying? Exchange that money. And then here's the catch, right? So for Jordan, for example, the currency was $1, 1.41 Jordanian JDs.
Mhm.
Um, for example, if you was to exchange $10,000 of Jordanian money into US dollars, you would get about 15,000.
Mm.
So if you exchange 300K, you coming up like maybe 450K. So the currency in certain countries you play in could be more than the US dollar. So you actually making more money.
Mm. So, what were the teams you played for again?
All the teams?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a lot. I played in 7 countries and I
Okay.
played for like 9 different teams.
Oh wow.
So my first country I played in was Moldova. The team was called BC Northland, Basketball Club Northland. The second team I played for was Gilmary Falcons in Armenia. The third team I played for was Montijo Basket in Portugal. I would play for KK Bogasha in Bosnia for like a couple months. And then I went to Tunisia to play in their top league. That was the first time I played in like a top league against national players. The team was called USA Al Ansar. Then I went to Portugal again and played for Club Basket Albufeira. That was one of my best experiences, by
Mm.
the way. We'll get into that. Um, After that, I played for KK Briscoe in Bosnia, and I played that whole season from October all the way through April. And
Wow.
then I went to Peru in September, and then I just played in Jordan. Came back from Jordan in February, and I went there in November.
And this is in what type of time frame? Like the
Of all the
past?
countries,
Yeah. And that,
from 2020 to now.
wow.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
I was constantly playing, getting picked up. You know.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
So, how's it work? So you played Moldova. How's the networking to get picked up by those other teams work?
Uh, get you an agent,
Mhm.
get you somebody to represent you, and they'll be connected, and they have something to represent you with because, excuse me, you're now playing in that European market. You have film and you have statistics in the European market.
Mm.
So now that you got your foot in the door, it's easier for teams to pick you up because you have experience.
Nice. When that person that wants to branch out and go overseas and picking an agent, how do you trust the guy that you don't know in terms of creating your income?
Do your research.
Okay.
Make sure that agent's FIBA certified. A lot of people scam because they're
What
not
is it?
FIBA certified.
Okay.
Basically, like how I'm a personal trainer and I got my certification and I'm legit.
Okay.
But there's people that personal train that are not legit.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure your agent is FIBA certified. If you want to know if they're really FIBA certified, you go on FIBA.com, you go to agents, and you type their name in. If their name comes up, they're legit. If their name don't come up, then that's a red flag right there. Because when it comes to agencies, when you're getting picked up for a job, you sign a contract, your agent signs the contract, and the owner of the team signs the contract. Hereby states that the agent gets, for instance, 10% of your contract salary monthly. Um, if somebody claims that they're an agent and they say, "Yeah, I'm gonna help you get a job," you pay $400 up front, and I help you get a job. That's fake. I've been through that. I didn't have to pay that much. Actually, I did one time, and I got my money right back because you're not scamming me.
Mm.
If anybody charges you money up front, it's a scam. It's the agent's job to get you the job, and then they make money in commission off of your salary. They're not supposed to take any money up front from any players.
Mm-hmm.
They're supposed to take the money from you when you make it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And you said FIBA, FIBA?
Yeah, FIBA.
Okay. Cool.
Federal International Basketball Association.
Okay.
It's like NBA, but overseas. Yeah.
Cool. And then you said you had one spot that you loved.
Yeah, Portugal, for
Okay.
sure. Beautiful weather, beautiful
Mm.
women. I live by the beach, and
Wow.
the nightlife was crazy out there.
Nice.
And yeah.
How do you balance the I guess the life over there of being a pro player and balancing social life?
Discipline,
Mm.
setting a lot of alarms, work hard, have fun later, get in the gym first, do what you got to do, and then you have fun.
Nice.
Don't prioritize the fun, prioritize the work, because at the end of the day, it's still a job. If you don't do what you're supposed to do overseas, they'll send you home. One thing about
Oh,
overseas, in comparison to the NBA, they'll send you home way quicker than the NBA.
wow.
If you have 1 or 2 bad games, you're done. I
Wow.
even went to Portugal to replace somebody. Yeah, shout out to my boy Austin. He was cool about it. He knew that I was coming in to replace him, but they'll replace you.
Wow.
In a heartbeat. They'll send you home.
How's that contract worth? Like, is it guaranteed or you only get paid if you play?
Oh, it's guaranteed, but if your performance is not up to par, then during that halfway point of the season, they can replace you and bring someone else in. Like you're guaranteed the contract up into the the second half of the season.
Wow.
The team could decide whether or not they want to keep you for that second half of the season or they want to release you and sign somebody else. But
Wow.
if you're playing horrible and you're not abiding by the team's rules, not showing up to practice, getting high, getting drunk, and, not following the code of conduct for the contract and the team, they can let you go at any time. But that's a rare occasion.
Mm,
You just got to not care about basketball to do that. But yeah, like for instance, if you start in October, you're guaranteed the contract until December. December, they could trade you off
mm.
and release you, whatnot. But if they decide to keep you, that means you're doing something good. Knock on wood, I never got sent home. I done played in the toughest of the toughest countries against the toughest competition, and I've always been able to hold my own. So I've been blessed.
Nice.
You know.
Cool. Are you not the knock on? They see you knocked on wood. Or do you have a contract coming up or?
Uh, I don't talk about that right now. I'll
Okay.
definitely look. I got things on the way. That's all I'm gonna say.
Cool.
But I don't want to talk about it because, like we just said, I don't want to, block my blessings.
Yeah.
But stay tuned. If y'all follow me on social media at I am Gene Campbell, you'll see some things on the way. But
Cool.
right now we're just gonna keep that on the hush. Yeah.
Cool. To wrap things up, I know you have a nonprofit that you do when you come back to Jersey. You want to get into that?
Yeah. So Walk 'em on our shoes. I started that while I was in university at NJCU. Had this idea of giving back. My mom really motivated me to, get things started. I call myself a doer, not a talker.
Mm.
My actions speak louder than my words. If I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I started off having little bins around the college campuses. Hey guys, I'm collecting sneakers. If you want to donate, here's the bin. First couple weeks, nothing. Started talking to my teammates, told them about it. People started donating. We did a service in Newark, our first service, February 19th, 2019. It'll be 6 years in a couple days where we did our first service. It was in Newark, New Jersey, Newark Penn Station. It was a colleague of mine, shout out to Jay Smooth. We went out. I had sneakers at my house. He had sneakers at his house. I had a few donations. Went out and like weather like this and gave out about 15 pairs of shoes and sneakers to the homeless people at Newark Penn Station.
And when he says like this, it's cold as hell outside.
Very cold. Gave out those sneakers, helped out a lot of people, put smiles in people's faces, tears in people's eyes of joy. And it was something I really wanted to do, keep doing. Posted on social media, got a lot of, good feedback from it. And then more people started donating. And then shortly, after, doing a bunch of services, I joined a fraternity. And when I joined a fraternity, I had, brothers helping me out and, wanting to give back with me. And they definitely helped to grow for sure. And then eventually it became the philanthropy of Psi Sigma Phi Multicultural Fraternity Incorporated.
Nice.
So shout out to, Walk 'em Out for being the philanthropy for the frat and helping the frat grow. After that, people from outside of the frat, people from all over Jersey, all over, down south, whatever, wanted to help us give back. And then, we started receiving a lot of donations and then we started getting exposure. We were on NJ Monthly. We were on Home News Tribune on the front cover. We were on NJ 101.5. I was on TV for it. And I was just on TV again on Friday on News 12 for, Walk 'em Out. So we've grown tremendously. I have a wonderful team. Shout out to my line brother, Chris, and my CTO, Chris, for doing a lot of work. He's the guy who runs things on the ground when I'm overseas. Shout out to Sarah. Shout out to Zaire, who's also a brother, Omicron.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dan, who's a beta brother. Shout out to Juan, who's also a beta brother. Shout out to Devin, who's one of our new members who helped expand Walk 'em Out to Baltimore.
Oh,
so now we're in Baltimore.
Nice.
We have a region there, and he's doing tremendous work. He's going to be doing a service in Baltimore on the 22nd.
What got you into wanting to create Walk a Mile to give to the homeless?
So I lived on Myrtle Ave in MLK in Jersey City. If anybody knows, that's very urban, and it's a very homeless populated community. There's a lot of drug infestation and a lot of crime going on. So I've seen a lot of that growing up, and I just wanted to help my community and give back. And once I seen the work we were able to do in Newark and Jersey City, I wanted to help other communities as well, because people that were involved in Walk a Mile that were helping out lived in different communities, and they told me that, hey, my community has a lot of homeless people too. So I'm like, let's just help everybody. I'm not just gonna help my community. I want to help your community, your community, your community. Let's give back to the world.
Cool.
I've even done community services when I played overseas.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, again, I appreciate you for coming out and sharing your journey with me about your life decisions. Is there anything you regret from playing overseas, that if you could go through a scenario that you did something, you wish you would have did something else?
Yeah, for sure. When I went to Puerto Rico with my cousin who played in the NBA, he recently been playing in Puerto Rico. I watched him a lot, being there and seeing him at the games. I wish I would have been more in tune with the fan base.
Mm.
I definitely have a good fan base now because I learned from my cousin. But in the beginning, I was just focused on the game so much that I didn't really focus on the fan base and the crowd. I noticed my cousin, when he get the crowd hype, he put his hands up, he high-fived everybody, from the scorekeepers to the referees to some people in the front row of the audience. And I noticed that they really loved him for that. And I made sure that I took what he did and applied it to Jordan.
Nice.
And I created a really good fan base over there. The kids love me, the fans love me, so it was cool. It was a regret that turned into execution. It was a regret that I had another opportunity to execute on it, and I made sure I did that.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Cool. Second one, he's off the top of the dome too. That incoming athlete that wants to strive for the NBA, but honestly, like, dude, you're not gonna make it to NBA. How could you? How should he redirect his path to go overseas?
Market yourself. I would say marketing is the best tool to use, especially with the social media era. And I wouldn't advise you to knock on 1,000 doors. Like, get an agent. Reach out to agents. You can go on FIBA.com and email agents. They're more than welcome to accept, rookie players. You're not going to make a lot of money at first as a rookie unless you play at a high major D1 like Kentucky, Duke, North Carolina, but you can definitely get your foot in the door and, open up that opportunity for you. So you ain't got to be stressed and hitting up all these people. Get an agent that represents you. Do your research on the agent. Find out if they're FIBA certified. Look at their social media page. Google them. Do your research on the person, because that's like your lawyer. That's the person that represents you. You got to be able to trust that person. If you can't trust your agent, then you shouldn't have one.
Yeah. Cool. And
their career is in your hands. So, yeah.
And lastly, what's one thing you know now about paying overseas that you wish you knew when you first started?
Make sure you bring that European outlet, because if you don't, it's over with. You're gonna have to go over there and buy one. My first year, it was tough. That USA outlet, the two pieces in the back, is not the same as European.
Okay.
And you will have a dead phone, because I had a dead phone the first couple days.
Cool.
So, yeah.
That was a funny one. But again, I appreciate you. If someone wants to reach out to you, how would they reach out to you?
You can follow me on social media: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook. I am Eugene Campbell. It's all the same thing.
You want to spell
I'm
that?
not Hollywood. I respond. So it's I_AM_GENE_ Campbell, CAMPBELL, on all social media platforms. I'm very active on Instagram. I just started going on TikTok again. My TikTok account got messed up and I couldn't log in for a while. So I was out of commission for a year. Now I'm back on my TikTok. Gotta grow that because it's kind of trash right now. But
cool.
Yeah.
Well, again, I appreciate you for making that hour drive. We'll see you on the next one.
Appreciate you.